On the pitching side of things for the SaberDogs, it was very, very good as well. Dominick Parkhurst picked up the win, his 5th of the year, went 7 innings, allowed just 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. And then it was Connor Burdian who tossed 2 scoreless innings, picking up 1 strikeout, walked 1 batter to slam the door on a 15-1 SaberDogs win. So Surrey Valley picked up their first ever win in their franchise's history during a postseason game. Had to feel good, given the fact that they had appeared in the postseason twice against these Big Sticks in 2018 and 19, back when both sides were playing one-game playoffs, and the SaberDogs unfortunately would lose both. So they pick up the win tonight. This is a best-of-3 series with a win for the Big Sticks this evening. That would force a deciding Game 3 between these two clubs. But the SaberDogs looking to take care of business tonight, pick up the win, and hopefully face either the Sasquatch or the Pioneers in the championship round. Of course, a decisive Game 3. Before we get into what's coming up tonight, let's take a look at Game 1 yesterday. It was an 11-4 final for the SaberDogs, but don't read in too much into that because it was a very tight ball game for the first half of this ball game or so. In fact, at one point, it was just a 3-2 lead for the SaberDogs for the first third, and SaberDogs would extend that to a 4-2 lead in the top of the 4th. But then Surrey Valley was able to break it open, a combined 7 runs through the 6th and 8th innings. They were able to extend their lead to that point at 7 and win by a final score of 11-4. The pitching, a big story. Declan Harper stepped up big time. It was the best we saw him all season. Went 4 1/3 of an innings work, picked up his 2nd win of the year. He's now 2-2. Allowed no hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. That's right. The only 3 base runners he allowed were on those 3 free passes. In fact, he retired the first 9 batters he faced. So it was the best we saw Harper, and that was big for Alex Miklos because that saves the bullpen coming into tonight. And, of course, you have Dominick Parkhurst, your horse on the mound. However, if he does get into trouble, there are plenty of arms available for tonight's ballgame. It was Matt Jackson who closed things out with 2 innings, allowing just 2 runs in the back of that ballgame to secure the victory in Game 1. Leading off at shortstop will be Justin Cooper, followed by Alan Greer in left field. Stephen Moretto, the third baseman, will bat third. Jordan Williams, your DH, will clean up. Taylor Justice, the catcher, will bat 5th. Gunnar Grand, the second baseman, 6th. Declan Buckleback at first base. Really shined defensively a couple nights ago. Will bat 7th. Jared Breedwell in right field will hit 8th. And Reese Anderson will round out the 9 in center. On the bump for the SaberDogs, going to be the big right-hander, Dominick Parkhurst, what many could consider the ace. He was the opening day starter back on May 25th against the Whiskey Jacks. He was the Game 1 starter of the division series back last Monday against the Big Sticks. Here he finds himself in a potential deciding championship game as well, as his numbers support the ace status. 5-1 record with a 2.89 ERA, 40 strikeouts to just 17 walks in 56 innings of work. And the start he pieced together on August 9th in Game 1 of the Division Series over against Badlands was one of his best. Picked up the win, 7 innings, 1 run. It was earned, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Opponents just hitting .224, slugging .282, and Parkhurst has been a dog here at home. Again, the SaberDogs, when he's on the mound through his 6 starts here at Corbett Field, have just lost once. 5 of the other ones they've picked up wins. Let's take a look at the playoffs so far here in the Expedition League. Again, it's been quite a quick start for both the SaberDogs and the Sasquatch. Taking a look at that bracket, of course, it was the SaberDogs and the Big Sticks. SaberDogs took Game 1 of that series by a final score of 15-1. Then would take Game 2, as we saw in the highlight reel, 7-1. That was a 2-game sweep that, of course, sent them over to this championship series. On the other end, for the Pioneers, they picked up a sweep, but it was a much different look. In Game 1 of the Division Series against the Western Nebraska Pioneers, they were able to pick up the win 11, make that 2-0, and then in Game 2 picked up a 3-1 win. So they only scored a combined 5 runs, allowed just 1, and this was the #1 offensive team coming into the postseason. But remember, this Spearfish Sasquatch squad has lost a lot of their big bats over the last couple weeks or so, including an MVP candidate in Charles McAdoo, Ben Parker, an All-Star, Theo Hardy, Seth Surratt. The list goes on. Now, this is quite a big matchup here because for both of these teams, it's the first time they're ever played in an Expedition League championship game. Virtually, the Expedition League championship rounds the last 3-4 years have been dominated by 2 teams, the Big Sticks in the Lewis Division and the Pioneers in the Clark Division. In fact, the SaberDogs are the first team in Expedition League history to represent the Lewis Division in the championship round, not named the Badlands Big Sticks. And as early as last year, the Western Nebraska Pioneers could have said the same until the Fremont Moo took over and won that Clark title back in 2020, and then eventually would win the championship as well over the Big Sticks. But coming into this postseason, you had the 2 big horses, the Big Sticks who have dominated the Lewis Division, and the Pioneers who have dominated the Clark Division. Meanwhile, you have the SaberDogs and the Sasquatch taking over for what's already been a very good postseason so far. On the bump for Surrey Valley tonight, the ace, Dominick Parkhurst, a Minot State product, as we mentioned in the pregame show, has been just dominant this season. 5-1 record with a 2.89 ERA clip. This will be his 11th start of the year, 12th outing. And if the SaberDogs can end their season tonight with a win, it's pretty fitting that the man who started it all on opening night on May 25th gets to do the job on the hill. 40 strikeouts to 17 walks for Parkhurst and 56 innings of work. Last start, of course, against the Big Sticks in Game 1 of the Division Series. 1 earned run, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts through 7 innings of work. In fact, has just been tremendous in his last 4 starts. A combined 24 2/3 of innings work in those 4 outings. A 1.86 ERA. Has allowed just 5 earned runs and has struck out 13 batters in that span. So he'll get a Spearfish Sasquatch lineup that looks a little bit different than the one the SaberDogs faced a couple of weekends ago. Again, these two teams coming into the night is the top 2 offensive teams in the Expedition League. SaberDogs #1 run-scoring team with 599 runs. Meanwhile, the Sasquatch right behind them have tapped home plate 590 times this year. SaberDogs first in on base, second in slugging, 423 and 444 clips respectively. Meanwhile, the Sasquatch second on base at a 417 on base percentage and third in slugging at a 440 clip. Parker settles and fires the 1-0, swinging a fly ball left field, straight up about as Alan Greer takes a couple steps to his right. He'll make the catch. Tagging from third is Bachman. He'll score as the throw goes into the shortstop and Cooper. He has good speed. As Parker settles at the chest, his 1-2 on the way, swinging a fly ball, center field, slicing away from Anderson as he takes a couple steps towards his left. He'll camp underneath this one to make the grab for out number 2. As this has been a little bit of a difficult task here in the top of the first. Much different look than what we saw in Badlands. So the next pitch is swung and popped up on the infield left side. Steven Moretto backpedals on the cut of the outfield turf. Parker spears in, kicks, fires the 1-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Parkhurst pulls out the sword, fools Austinson for his first punch out of the night on a nasty breaking ball for out number 1 here in the top of the second inning. And a weak swing from Austinson, went about 3/4 on that hack right there. Good start for Division Series, but here today in the Championship Series, the 0-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Parker sets down Creeth on 3 pitches. Back-to-back punch-outs for the SaberDogs right-hander to open up the top of the second inning, 2 away. You got to give them a lot of credit because in the deals from the first base side, the rubber and comes set at the chest. He kicks and tosses the 0-2 on the way. Swing a soft ground ball to short. Cooper charges, picks it up with 2 hands, slings across to first base. Offensively, as Parkhurst comes set, kicks, fires the 1-1 pitch. Swing a bounding ball to short. Cooper will charge it, plan on the long hop, step across, throw to first base. That is in time to retire. Friends by us. This once now comes set. Lifts and fires the 3-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. McGrath to his right, picks it up, takes it to the back for 1. His throw to first base is in time. Taylor, second time of the year in which Surrey Valley and Badlands had a game shortened to that length. The 2-2 is swung and grounded on a hop to Moretto, who backhands it, picks it up, throws to first base. That'll be in time to retire McHenry. Maybe due to fatigue. We mentioned he's had to start a lot of games almost every day over the last 2 weeks. As the next pitch is seared on the ground to short, or make that gobbled up by the shortstop and Cooper. He'll step across and throw to Grant. About straight up at second as the first pitch is seared on the ground to third. Off the chest of Moretto, rolls to his left. Cooper will pick it up with his bare hand, but he'll have no for the Sasquatch. You got to imagine Jared Molna really looking for a big knock right here as the first pitch is swung and grounded to short. Cooper gobbles it up, throws to the covering second base in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dominick Parkhurst out for inning number 5 of work with a clean inning here. Would qualify himself for the win, assuming Surrey Valley holds on. As his first pitch is on its way to Jack Van Doren. This pitch is swung on the line, shallow right field. Brewell on his horse, ranging in towards the line to his left. Will gallop over the main. With a win tonight would secure the perfect postseason, going 4-0 to win a championship. Payoff pitch on the way. Swing to Hyde, chopper, shortstop side. Cooper steps back to plan a long hop. Quick throw to first base is just in the nick of time. Parker's from the stretch, pauses at the chest. Kicks, fires the 0-1 pitch, swinging a shot out to left field. Greer sprinting out towards his left into the alley. He'll range underneath this one to make the grab for out number 3. 2, 3, and 4 here in the Sasquatch lineup. The 1-0 pitch, swinging a hard comebacker off the mitt of Parkhurst. He'll recover, pick it up with his bare hand, toss over to first base in time for out number 1. A scary, scary play, but it looks like that did hit the leather of Parkhurst. A hard line drive right back at him. Quick reflexes from him as he starts to point at the heel of his glove. So that's the good news right there. Knocked out per game compared to the 6.29 runs they allowed per game in the regular season. 0-2, breaking ball, rings him up. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Out number 2, punch out number 3 for Parkhurst as he gets Driggs with a very good breaking ball on the outer black. Here comes Michael Dorr, the right fielder, to the plate, looking for his first, defensively speaking, for this Spearfish ball club. Infield will be playing back with 2 outs, forced at all bases, outfield straight up. Parkhurst kicks, fires, first pitch is swung on a ground wide to first, fielded on a couple hops by Declan Buckle. He'll take it to the first base bag unassisted, as that will retire the side. Parkhurst gets out of the bases loaded jam. He's now gotten through 6 innings tonight of 1-run ball. He's now allowed just 2 runs through 13 innings of work this postseason. And if that is it for Dominick Parkhurst this year in a SaberDogs uniform, tip your cap, as he has just been tremendous for the SaberDogs this year, has taken the role of the ace, and is dominated here in the postseason, helping the SaberDogs hold this 6-1 lead. He heads back to the dugout, gives hugs and handshakes to everybody in the first base dugout, in line for the win, which would be the most important win in SaberDogs history. Running to the bottom of the 6th, 6-1. SaberDogs, your score live from Corbett Field. Game 2 of the Expedition League Championship Series. 1 SaberDogs, 2 outs, top of the 9th. First pitch from Suval, swinging a shot, right field. Greenwell has it played perfectly. He squeezes it for out number 3 as the SaberDogs are on top for the first time in franchise history. Expedition League champions in 2021, and fittingly a dog pile on top of the pitcher's mound in a sea of baby blue. The perfect postseason is complete as the SaberDogs sweep the big sticks and sweep the Spearfish Sasquatch. They will hold that trophy loud and proud tonight here at Corbett Field as they once again protect the house and win it in 2 games. 8-1 your final. Hugs aplenty in front of the pitcher's mound as the SaberDogs have done it. 65 games, a franchise record 48 wins. How about that? What a season here in 2021. Flashback to May 25th, 2018. The SaberDogs and the Sasquatch, 2 of the original teams, played their first ever games in franchise history. The SaberDogs beat the Sasquatch 5-3. Fittingly, they meet in the championship series for the first time in both of their respective histories, and the SaberDogs complete it on top, sweeping the series 2-0. We got plenty coming up on the post-game show, the trophy presentation show coming up next. Again, the SaberDogs win it 8-1. They are champions for the first time in franchise history. In fact, the first Lewis Division team to ever win a title here in the Expedition League, besides the Badlands Big Sticks. They walk off the field, greeted by a loud round of applause by a rambunctious, loud, packed, sold-out Corbett Field crowd as they pile in front of the trophy by the first base on deck circle. A lot of credit to Alex Miklos, Benton Schweinfurth, and Michael Newstrom, who just did a tremendous job this year. SaberDogs win it 8-1. Their final record of the campaign, 48-18, a franchise record 48 wins. We're going to take a break as Alex Miklos has just been drenched with Gatorade, the Gatorade shower, as his teammates show him some love for a fantastic, tremendous campaign. Trophy presentation show coming up here. Let's take a listen.
Your 2021 Expedition League champion.
Valley SaberDogs, I'm Max Tanzer. We thank you so much for tuning in, not just tonight, but the entire season. Valley SaberDogs, Expedition League champions in 2021, hopefully the first of many.